Carl Jung, a Swiss madman on the edge of World War I, in his Red Book. And thus I went out in that night. It was the second night of year 1914, and an anxious expectation filled me. I went out to embrace the future. The path was wide, and what was to come was awful. It was the enormous dying, a sea of blood. From it the new sun arose, awful and a reversal of that which we call day. We have seized the darkness, and its sun will shine above us, bloody and burning like a great downfall. When I comprehended my darkness, a truly magnificent night came over me, and my dream plunged me into the depths of the millennia, and from it my phoenix ascended. What happened to me that day? Torches were kindled, bloody anger and disputes erupted. As darkness seized the world, the terrible war arose, and the darkness destroyed the light of the world. And so we had to taste hell. I saw which vices and virtues of this time changed into, how your mildness became hard, your goodness became brutality, your love became hate, and your understanding became madness. Why did you want to comprehend the darkness? But you had to, or else it would have seized you. Happy is the man who anticipates its grasp. Did you ever think of the evil in you? Oh, you spoke of it, you mentioned it, and you confessed it smilingly, as a general human vice or a recurring misunderstanding. But did you know what evil is, and that it stands precisely right behind your virtues, that it is also your virtues themselves as their inevitable substance? You locked Satan in the abyss for a millennium, and when the millennium had passed, you laughed at him, since he had become a children's fairy tale. But if that dreadful great one raises his head, the world winces. The most extreme coldness draws near. With horror you see that you are defenseless, and that the army of your vices falls powerless to its knees. With the power of demons you seize the evil, and your virtues cross over to him. You are completely alone in the struggle, since your gods have become deaf. You do not know which devils are greater, your vices or your virtues. But one thing you are certain, that virtues and vices are brothers. Today's men need a large slice of death, since too much incorrectness lives, and too much correctness has died in them. My soul spoke to me in a whisper, urgently and alarmingly. Words, do not make too many words. Be silent and listen. Have you recognized your madness, and do you admit it? Have you noticed that all your foundations are completely mired in madness? Do you not want to recognize your madness and welcome it in a friendly manner? You want it to accept everything, so accept madness too. Let the light of your madness shine, and it will suddenly dawn on you. Madness is not to be despised, and not to be feared, but instead you should give it life. Be glad that you can recognize it, for you will thus avoid becoming its victim. Madness is a special form of the spirit, and clings to all teachings and philosophies, but even more to daily life, since life itself is full of craziness, and at bottom utterly illogical. Man strives toward reason only so that he can create rules for himself. Life itself has no rules. That is its mystery and its unknown law. Wondrous things came nearer. I called my soul and asked her to dive down into the floods, whose distant roaring I could hear. And thus she plunged into the darkness like a shot, and from the depths it called out, "Will you accept what I bring?" I will accept what you give. I do not have the right to judge or to reject. So listen. There is old armor and the rusty gear of our fathers down here, murderous leather trappings hanging from them, worm-eaten lance shafts, twisted spearheads, broken arrows, wrought shields, skulls, the bones of man and horse, old cannons, catapults, crumbling firebrands, smashed assault gear, stone spearheads, stone clubs, sharp bones, chipped arrow teeth, everything the battles of yore have littered the earth with. Will you accept all this? I accept it. You know better, my soul. I find painted stones, carved bones with magical signs, talismanic sayings on hanks of leather and small plates of lead, dirty pouches filled with teeth, human hair and fingernails, timbers lashed together, black orbs, moldy animal skins, all the superstitions hatched by dark prehistory. Will you accept all this? I accept it all. How should I dismiss anything? But I find worse: fratricide, cowardly mortal blows, torture, child sacrifice, the annihilation of whole peoples, arson, betrayal, war, rebellion. Will you also accept this? Also this, if it must be, how can I judge? I find epidemics, natural catastrophes, sunken ships, razed cities, frightful feral savagery, famines, human meanness, and fear. Whole mountains of fear. So shall it be, since you give it. I find the treasures of all past cultures, magnificent images of gods, spacious temples, paintings, paper rolls, sheets of parchment with characters of bygone languages, books full of lost wisdom, hymns and chants of ancient priests, stories told down the ages through thousands of generations. That is an entire world whose extent I cannot grasp. How can I accept that? But you wanted to accept everything. You do not know your limits. Can you not limit yourself? From the flooding darkness the sun of the earth had brought, my soul gave me ancient things that pointed to the future. She gave me 3 things: the misery of war, the darkness of magic, and the gift of religion. If you're clever, you will understand that these 3 things belong together. These 3 mean the unleashing of chaos and its power, just as they also mean the binding of chaos. War is obvious and everybody sees it. Magic is dark and no one sees it. Religion is still to come, but it will become evident. Did you think that horrors of such atrocious warfare would come over us? Did you think that magic existed? Did you think about a new religion? I sat up for long nights and looked ahead at what was to come, and I shuddered. Do you believe me? I'm not too concerned. What should I believe? What should I disbelieve? I saw, and I shuddered. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I hope that at least some of you enjoyed the writings of the madman. That was Carl Jung. He's a psychologist. I don't think he could prescribe drugs, although I'm sure he did a whole bunch, from Switzerland. Kind of an opponent of Freud, one who came up with the whole idea of archetypes. But if you just look into your mind, I'm sure you can see them. But looking at this replay, and I should at least say something about what we saw, this was, I guess the way I understand it, the most difficult settings for this survival on this map, which is beaten. I know in the past I have played this survival. I don't think I've ever beat it, even on lower settings, so this was very impressive. Actually, at the end here we get to look at just what these players built up. They used all the space. That's an excessive amount of paragons. In case people don't know, the paragon actually does max out if you have enough build capacity at about 10,000. Mass production, I'm not sure about the power. And yeah, this is a massive piece of construction. And if you think about it, it only took 40 minutes. I'm sure the actual game time was a little longer because of lag, but actually more recently you play survivals at regular speed, not a problem. That's a beautiful, beautiful row of Ravagers. Huge amounts of kills in this one. If you're wondering why I keep doing these things like Carl Jung and Zarathustra, it's something fun. And I think I'm going to probably start another channel where I'll just read random poetry, just to kind of keep things separate. But I'll still throw things into this channel every now and then. Yeah, definitely not leaving Sprinkle Miner. That's the poetry of RTS. You can see the wasted masters rather low. Hopefully people enjoy this one.